Hey everyone, Prof Sales coming at you with another video, and today's video is about the 3 P's. What are the 3 P's, you might ask? Well, I'm a fan of the show The Profit. It comes on CNBC and it stars a guy named Marcus Lemonis. And Marcus's point in the show, what he does is he goes around to businesses that are failing and tries to invest his own money in them and help save them. He takes control of them temporarily until they get things right. He's hoping to earn a return. They're hoping to make their business, be better. And he talks about 3 P's that you must get right if you're in business. And the 3 P's are people, process, and product. So let's talk about those and how the 3 P's can be applied to your reselling business. So the first P is people. Now for most of you, you are probably the only person in your business. You are doing everything. You are doing the researching, you are doing the sourcing, you're doing the listing, the photographs, the shipping, the packing, the handling customer issues, all the back-end stuff with taxes and accounting and so on. You've taken it all on. And that's the way most of us start out, and there's nothing really wrong with that. But let's think about that for a moment. What is your time worth? Well, that's a great question. Let's decide, let's suppose for a moment that you think your hourly rate is worth $50 an hour. You can bring $50 an hour worth of equity to the business, $50 an hour worth of value, $50 an hour. So let's break it down. Let's think about if your time is worth $50 an hour and you're sourcing items, for instance, is it possible that you could pay someone to do sourcing for you and do it at a cheaper rate than $50 an hour? Is it possible that you could pay someone to list things for you for less than $50 an hour? I think it probably is. So having someone who is listing items, let's say they're listing for $10 an hour, frees you up to go earn $50 an hour doing something else for your business, like maybe your new strategy, you're going into a new area of merchandise or a new type of merchandising. So when you think about it, if listing is really only worth $10 an hour in your business and your time is worth $50 an hour, every hour that you are listing, you are losing $40 an hour. Now I know that's a foreign concept to most of us, but it's really true when you stop and think about it because you are worth more than that. Now I'm not suggesting you have to go out and hire a bunch of people to do everything, but you need to think about ways that you can push your business into a model where more of the things that earn you less money are taken care of by people that you can pay less money to do it. Because you're hurting yourself. You're only hurting your own business when you do that. You may not think that in the moment. You think, oh, it's got to get done. And you're right, it does have to get done. It's not saying those things aren't important. You can trade money for time, but you cannot trade time for money. So you can give money to someone else so that you can have more time to go do the things that are worth what your hourly rate's really worth to the business, but you cannot trade time for money. You cannot say, I'm going to go spend an hour and get more out of it or what I'm worth if what you're spending that time on is really not worth that much in today's market. So you want to think about ways you can have the right people in place, whether that's you or someone else, to do the task in your business. And that's something I'm really focusing on lately, is thinking about how can I outsource more and more of my business so that I can, free me up to do the things that are going to generate more revenue in the long run. This is really intuitive if you think about it. I mean, the CEO of Target could probably run a cash register, but doesn't it make more sense that we put someone in charge and pay them, $8.50 an hour to do that rather than pay someone $5 million a year to do that? It's not an efficient use of their time. Think about yourself as a CEO of your own business, and you've got to think about where am I going to allocate people in my business where they have the most strength. And by the way, just because you have done everything in your business, you've done the sourcing, listing, photo, everything, that doesn't mean you're the best at it. You're the only person who's done it so far, but you could bring somebody else in who may be much better than you, much faster, and you gain even more efficiency because you free up your hours to make that $50 an hour rate or whatever your rate is, and you also are paying them less, but they're getting more work done than you could have gotten done with an hour. So you're gaining even more revenue on the back end. So think about your people. You got to have the right people in the right place doing the right thing. The second thing is product. So product is key for us as resellers. As we all know, buying and selling the right products are important. Now, you're going to buy products sometimes that aren't very profitable or aren't worth the amount of time you've got and energy you got to put into them for the return you get back. Again, think about what your hours are worth. So if you are sourcing products that aren't going to bring you that $50 an hour value in the long run, then you're really losing money. You have the wrong products. Now, this is really applicable for someone who develops their own products or runs a business that, doles out services and products. But yours isn't that different. You're still going on and buying products that some are good, some are bad, some are good sometimes of the year, some are better other times of the year. Some take too much time and trouble to manage, others are very easy. Some are very profitable, some are not as profitable. So you've got to kind of think about what your products are in terms of your business goals. And again, going back to what is your time worth for the amount you've got to spend on, a product. I've used this example before, but if I told you you could sell a product for $1,000 and you only had to put $1 into it, you'd probably jump on that. But if the product wouldn't sell for 10 years, would you do it? Maybe. What about if it only sold for $100 and you had to spend $10? Would you type $10 for 10 years just to get a $100 return? Probably not. You've got to look at the timing, obviously. So the type of product you get is important based on what your business goals are. Quick turn, slow turn, what sort of margins you're looking to get. If you accept lower margins on your products that you're selling, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that strategy, but just think about what are ways that I can turn more products? How can I get more inventory turns? Can I take this product and turn it every 3 days or 5 days versus this one over here that's going to take me 15 or 20 days? Well, if you've got a product that's going to turn once every 20 days versus one that's every 5 days, to be equal in terms of profit, you got to think about, well, the one that's going to turn every 5 days is going to have to turn 4 times and generate enough profit to equal the $120 one that turns, once every 20 days. So, think about your product in terms of your goals, what your time is worth, how quickly the item will move in and out of your inventory, how long your capital will be tied up into it. Products are critical. Without the right products, the other issues aren't really that important. They really won't help you much. And the last issue, the last P, is process. So this goes back to how we do things and why do we do things. A great example is on eBay. For many years now, sellers have written these long-winded, super lengthy descriptions. And they do this with the return policies and shipping policies. Guess what? People don't read that. That process doesn't gain you anything. And all it really does is eats into your time. Because go back to our $50 an hour example. Let's say you can list 10 items in 50 hours with the current processes you have in place. Well, if you develop a way to list 15 items an hour instead of 10 because you've changed a process and streamlined it, you've just given yourself a 50% raise per hour. That's huge. So your processes matter. Your processes, finding little ways to save time, finding little ways to be more efficient, ways that you can get more product quicker, get it in and out of your pipeline, get it listed, get it sent in, whatever your business model is, and turn it, are going to pay you huge dividends. Your processes are what drive all that. So when you can use technology and other people and research to find the right items to buy, all these things are part of your processes that will lead to a more efficient, streamlined business, which the bottom line for that is it's going to put more money in your pocket. When you have better processes, your business can grow much quicker, and you can be much more nimble, and if you have to move and evolve and adapt because of changing market conditions or e-commerce platforms or whatever the situation is. So processes are huge. And again, if you have the right people in place but the wrong processes, they're not going to be as efficient either if you do have other people helping your businesses. So processes are part of that and have to be part of your strategy. So we have three items there: people, products, and processes. They're all important and they all work together, they all mesh together, but you need to take a little time to think about, how do I do these three things? Could I improve what I use people to do in my business? Could I have someone else do a part of my business for me? And there's all kinds of ways to do that. That I know some of you are probably saying, well, that means I'm going to have to go hire people, and it's a big headache. There's ways to get around that. There's ways to use people as contractors and not break the law. I'm not suggesting anyone do that. But there's ways that you can use people to help your business. Your products. Am I buying the right products for the right prices at the right time of year and selling them for the right amount? Those are questions that are a little more complex, and I don't know that I can really answer them in a quick video for you, but you need to be thinking about that. Are the products you're selecting the right products and selling for the right amounts for your business goals? Not my business goals, your business goals. You know what your business goals are. You know what you want to do with your business each day, each week, each month. So think about, are the products I'm sourcing going to do that? I've used an example like this before, but you may find a book that's for $1 and you can sell it and make a net of $1. Great. But if you need to make $5,000 a month, you need to move 5,000 books a month. That's a lot of books. How are you going to go out and source all those books? Where are you going to find them all? How are you going to get them all processed and sent into Amazon FBA? These are all questions you need to answer. On the other hand, if you can find a book that's selling and you're netting $10 on it, you only need 500 of those instead of 5,000. Now it's easier to get the number of books. Now the amount of books you can process, is not as much. You have 1/10 as many books to process. However, finding those books that will net $10 may be more of a challenge. Maybe it's going to be tougher to find books that net $10 profit, 500 of them a month, for instance. So this all goes back to your goals, your processes. Are they working, and your product, are they working hand in hand with your people to meet your business goals? And if they're not, then you need to make changes. You need to think about, how can I change my people? Because one of the things that's really important about the people aspect is you're going to find there's going to become a point in your business. If you're the only person working your business right now, you're going to find there's a point that's going to come very quickly where you are the bottleneck. You are what's stopping your business from growing and progressing. And the reason is because you're trading time for money. And once you start doing that, you've only got so much time. You can get more money, but you've only got so much time. And if you put time and time and time and time into the business, well, first of all, you're not going to have any time for anything outside of the business if you're not careful. Second of all, it's going to burn you out because you're going to be so much time is going to go away. You just are not going to get much rest. But more importantly than all those two, it's not efficient. The reason we hire people, the reason we bring people into our business, the reason we use other people's time is because we can do it for money. That frees up our time. Those two things are linked very closely, time and money in this business. As far as the processes and so on, have you examined your processes carefully to see, can I be better at certain things? Can I be better at listing? Can I be better at photographs? Can I get a better sourcing plan, more efficient? What about when I have to go or take things to the post office or UPS? Can I combine them with other trips? There's so many ways that you can improve your processes, and all of them are going to pay huge dividends, because when you improve your processes, for the most part, it increases or decreases the amount of time that you had to spend, which frees you up to do other things. And then, of course, the products, we've already talked about. Can you get the right ones and so on for the right price? So all these 3 Ps together are critical to your success. You're already focusing on these 3 Ps to some degree, whether you know it or not. You're already thinking about people and process and products. And the show illustrates a lot of these concepts really, really well. If you haven't seen it, you can find The Profit on CNBC. I believe it's on demand. You can go back and watch previous episodes. I think it's been on for maybe 3 seasons now. And they're about an hour-long show, but they do a really good job in describing what's wrong with these businesses and if Marcus wants to invest and be part of them or not. And he meets every kind of business owner who has every kind of issue and has every kind of personal attachment and hang up in business. Probably some things that you might even identify in yourself or other resellers that you know. So that alone is very instructive to see how he deals with these faulty mindsets that people have. And as you know, here at Prof Sales, I'm all about the mindset and getting that right. What the mind believes, the body and hands will do. So think about the 3 Ps. and see if you can't figure out some ways to improve the 3 Ps in your business. All right, so if you like this video, please hit the like button down below. There is also a section to add a comment, and I like to hear from you guys, so please leave me a comment and I try to respond to everyone best I can. And also consider hitting the subscribe button. That way you will get the videos every time they come out. You won't have to wait. You'll know when there's one that's already hit the website, and you can come check it out and get your Prof Sales fix. All right, guys, so until next time, this is Prof Sales saying good sales to you.